Hey friends, and welcome back to another pottery template tutorial. I am really excited about this one. This project was such a pain in the butt to design. It took ages to figure out all of the angles, and I'm really glad that you're here watching the video because this is definitely a project that you need to see it being made instead of necessarily following the instructions that are provided. So let's get into it. This might be the trickiest template project that we've ever attempted together. So as always, of course, you want to cut out all of the pieces. Don't get intimidated by all the parts. We're going to go through this step by step. All right, we're going to start with rolling out a 1/2 centimeter slab. All of the pieces are going to be made with this 1/2 centimeter slab today. And then we're going to start by cutting out the walls of the milk carton. So that's MC1. We're going to be cutting out MC1 4 times and all other templates just once. And for all these little flat parts, I do recommend leaving the labels on them. It's very easy to get them mixed up and confused as you're working. So just leave them on for now and wait until you're ready to use them. Okay, we're going to start with the easy part, and that's assembling the walls of our milk carton. So we're going to use the MC1 pieces for that. And you'll want to cut the 2 sides that are marked at a 45-degree angle. And you want to repeat this for all 4 walls. So cut them at a 45-degree angle and then score them, just like you see Bianca doing here. And then while you have your scoring tool and your angle cutter out, you can go ahead and cut all of the little flat pieces as well, as you see Bianca doing here. So just pay attention to the instructions that are on the template. So some parts you just want to score and some parts you also want to cut in addition to scoring. And a really great tip is to use your needle tool or a pencil to draw through on those parts that aren't on the edges to mark directly onto your piece where you want to be scoring. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start assembling the walls. So we're back to MC1 and we're going to put these 4 pieces together. So you can add some slip or some water and just stick these 4 walls together into a square shape. Now we're going to attach the base. So when you line up your walls, just look down at it from above and try and make sure that it's as square as possible, as straight as possible on your base. And then you can mark where it's going to attach. So once you score both sides, just press down and line it up really nicely. And then you can trim the excess. All right, now it's time to attach the flaps. So the way that these flaps are labeled is the order that you should be applying them. So we start with MC3 and then we go to MC4, A and B, then MC5, MC6, A and B, and so on, right? So we're going to start with MC3 and you can choose any side of your milk carton walls. We are actually starting with the back. So this first flap is going to be the back flap of the milk carton. So you want to score both the piece, which you might have already scored already, and then the wall that you're attaching it to. And you want to attach it so that the flap is facing inward. Okay, now we're moving on to MC4A. And you want to score the part that's just to the left of the flap, as you can see here. And the 45-degree angle part should go into the piece, while the other part that you scored should fall into place with the MC3 flap. I hope that makes sense. I think it's much more easy to watch than to explain in words. All right, go ahead and attach the other side in exactly the same way. Okay, now we are going to attach the top ridge here. So we're going to nestle that piece right into the sort of V shape that was formed with the last two pieces. So just score that V shape and then, of course, the bottom of MC5 and kind of nestle it right in there. You'll want to use your finger or a paintbrush to kind of smooth out that connection afterwards. Okay, moving on to MC6. So the short edge of this piece should nestle right up against the MC5 piece that we just attached. And then the long diagonal should attach to the open part of the spout. If that makes sense, you can see exactly here what Bianca is doing. So this is forming the opening part of the spout. So you want to hold it up and just check where things are attaching and just score all of those parts. We're going to be attaching something to all of those parts at some point. So just go ahead and score all parts of the opening. You can add some slip and then press to attach. This should be angled at sort of a flare. You can use the 45-degree angle as your guide. We're going to be refining that in a moment when we connect the other two pieces. So just tack it on here for now. All right, we're moving on to MC7. That's the bottom part of the spout. Now we have this 45-degree angle at the bottom of this triangle. This time we want to flare the triangle out to make the spout open. So just line that up to the wall and press to attach. All right, the last pieces are to finish up our spout. So you want to score the edges of the previous two pieces we attached, and this triangle part just sits right on top of them. You'll want to refer to the template to know which part of the triangle should be attaching. But you'll notice here that you might need to adjust the angle of the previous pieces a little bit to make it attach in that perfect angle that all of the pieces match up. Now, if you have any weird bits, any lines showing, any weird edges, go ahead and just smooth those in. You can really manipulate the clay a lot and make that disappear. Just take your time and try and not work with the clay when it's overly wet. If it's too floppy, you might end up distorting the shape itself. So you can, if you want to, leave it to dry out a little bit to leather hard, and then you can kind of get in and really take care of the details. For us, for our sample, we're just going to go ahead and use our classic white glaze so that you see a really nice blank canvas and you can use your imagination to brainstorm what you want to make with this template. And that's it. You've just completed the hardest template that I've ever made for you guys. I am so proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you guys make with this template. I'm so excited to see what you come up with. All right, that's it for me today. I'll see you next month with a new template. Bye, friends.